Welcome, world, to another episode of Coronavirus World Support Conscious Awakening. And we have William, Tammy, Sandy, Sam, Jan, Helen, Daniela. Hello. Thanks for joining. We are winding down the group because the group is winding down. People are beginning to get more active in the world in some places. Italy. Italy, I saw some stats today on. I'm very, very pleased to see. Ontario, we thought we were doing better, but it's starting to do the slow, gradual reduction, which includes some spikes on the way. And so I think we've turned the corner. In any case, the adjustment period of the first shock, I think, is over. And now what I like to be talking about going forward is conscious awakening to cope with the new normal. Because unfortunately, while all of us hoped this would last a few months and go away, max, it's becoming very clear that it's not going away in a hurry. And that for some time we're going to have a new normal. We don't know what the future looks like, but we know it's changed and it's not over. We're not over by any means. But I think people have maybe found some kind of footing in various different places. And the people who are left here were clearly drawn to the conscious awakening work. And so this will be my last live, free, public coronavirus webinar. But there's never a door that closes that another one doesn't open. And I'm going to be beginning a new Conscious Awakening Ego workshop between now and the 24th of May. Actually, I'm going to have a webinar on the 24th of May. So mark your calendars if you want to be there. I'm going to do a presentation that day. I believe 11 a.m. Yeah, 11 a.m. Eastern. And that will be the next webinar that is public here. So if you're on the list already, you're going to get information on that. You'll get the link on that. If you have not done that, please do join egoworkshop.com, egoworkshop.com, and then you'll be in the loop. So yeah, the new normal, I don't know how it is for you right now. I've gone out a few times on my bike. People here are not wearing masks. I know in some countries they are. I was out late one night, just after sunset, and when I came back, there was someone on the road with an airplane, you know, like a biplane with the double wings. It was actually bigger than, it was about that, a little bit bigger than what I can show you in the video. Powerful little thing. And he was driving it up and down the road, and I asked him if it flew. And he said, yes, it does. And then he came over and started talking. And I had my bike with me, and when he came close, I just put the bike between us and put my arm out, and he looked at me and he said, oh yeah, sorry for getting too close. He said, I hope we go back to the way things were at some point. And I said, yeah, I do too, and I think we will. He was clearly older than me. I think he was in the higher risk range, but that doesn't mean any one of us is less or more vulnerable necessarily than the other. It's amazing. Young people are dying, old people, 107. I saw a guy, 107, beat the virus. So there's something going on here we don't know. They still need to do a lot more research and investigation to find out what the heck this thing's about. And so for now, the new normal is, yeah, keep our distance. It was quite nice to have the interaction with him though, and to see the plane. He was taking advantage of the empty streets, but he couldn't fly it here. There wasn't enough space. So the world has changed. No doubt the world has changed. And so some people in some countries are wearing masks. Our stores opened up this weekend. Some of our stores, our plant stores, outdoor stores, this kind of thing, opened up. Some of our parks are a bit more opened up. People aren't wearing masks, I think, except in stores, which I've seen a lot of. So that's a good thing. We're going to see masks as reminders for quite some time. And tomorrow's Mother's Day. And I was hoping to go visit my mom, but it's not a good idea. So I shall be here. We set up Zoom with our family. We tested it today and we were successful in getting almost everybody on. So we're working on that for tomorrow. That's one way you can try and connect with people. It's kind of neat because I live in Ottawa and they're in Toronto, and that's, you know, a good 5 hours away. So I don't get to see them that often. And we had a lot of fun. You know, it was really much like being in the same room together. And that happens for me, maybe once or twice a year. Now it can happen a lot more often. I could have never got my family onto Zoom, likely, to do that under any other circumstances. So you have to look on the bright side. If you don't, you can get very down, clearly. And so conscious awakening means to what? Not zoom in on one small, tiny, particular thing out of the totality available to you. As much as you can focus on a negative thought, you can focus on a positive thought. And you may notice, like I did 10 years ago, that when you do that, how you feel changes. Every time. Every time. Not sometime. Not if this and if that, and if I don't this, or if somebody doesn't know. Every time. If you get that message, then why would your suffering not be over? For life. Okay? For life. In our community, we had someone who's been working with me a few years, and this past couple of weeks, I think it was 2 weeks ago, this struck her. If I tell you it, that's one thing. You've got thought knowledge. That's nothing like having actual, absolute, direct knowledge for yourself. When you get thought knowledge, you have to check it out for yourself. This is why I think the Buddha said, don't believe me. Don't believe anybody, actually. Try it on and find out for yourself, basically. And so this member was in a situation of extreme suffering, and I had been coaching them through a few days prior to the event that triggered this, intensively one-on-one. And they actually did what I was suggesting they do. They actually did it. And in an instant, they went from extreme suffering actually to anger and then to love, and literally saw it so dramatically that they, like, when I spoke with them, they were like, Cindy, it's real, it's true. I'm like, yeah, so what are you saying? He's like, it's true. And they're telling me, they're teaching me, when you put your attention on a bad feeling thought, you feel bad. When you put your attention on a good feeling thought, you feel good. I'm like, yeah, it's been years. What changed for them is they had the experience. They went from a dramatic swing, and they saw the only thing that happened was this shift. Usually people don't see this shift. You don't see it. There's so much other story all around. You're seeing story, you're not seeing the shift. And so you must be paying attention to find out what's actually going on. And if you do, you'll find out. And it'll be a life changer, a game-changing life changer. And so we kind of joke that they've been working with me how many years, but they finally got it. Like, really got it. Not just in my head, not just intellectually, but in my bones. Yeah, in a way you can never forget, you can never turn away. We also had this happen with someone else who had an insight into reality. They actually are in a different country, and the time zone is not good, but they woke up in the middle of the night and they came on to the webinar because they woke up. And that night, I couldn't see them. It was pitch black dark, and they were trying to be quiet, for their family. But I heard about it the next day. And they woke up the next day in this absolute peace and bliss. It was still there the next day. And the insight was of the single reality. And the next day, when I finally got to speak with them, it was like, Cindy, oh my God, it's real. Everything you say is real. Yeah, I know. This one also a few years been working with me, been saying the same thing. But you see, saying it, seeing it, two different things. So saying it, hearing it, seeing it, two different things. You can lead a horse to water. You can't make him drink. I point, I do my best to point. We tear down the false. We keep ripping it and shredding it and throwing it up so that you can have these insights in your own actual true direct experience and confirm for yourself what I've been saying. And that's what counts. So Tammy commented here, she said, it works sometimes. No, it works all the time. Sorry, it works all the time. If you do it, it works. You're not doing it when you say it sometimes doesn't work. No, you're doing something else. You're not awake. You're dreaming still. You haven't shifted and stayed shifted. That's basically it. So, no, maybe you weren't, I might have mind read you wrong. Now you're talking about someone in the States was smart enough to come up with unemployment. Yeah. For people who weren't prepared. Yeah, good. Yeah, well, hopefully that help is arriving and soon and fast. Won't be any for me here, but that's okay. I'll get through. So that's literally, really true and real. What I'm saying is true and real. Where your attention goes, you experience. If you go into the movie in the mind, you experience the content of the movie and the feeling of that movie, whatever it is. Also, you are not the body, you are not the thoughts, you are not the feelings, you are not the story in the movie in the mind. Other people are not the story in your movie in the mind. And you have to see that. You have to recognize yourself, your what we call true self, which is it's a word we have to use because to point to this, you have to recognize what you actually are. Because you've been recognizing things as not you, as you. All right. Hey, we had a bunch more people join since. So, hey Viv, hey William, Tammy, Sandy, Sam, Marianne, Jan, Ellen, Jerry, Daniela, and Anne. Anybody have a question on any of this? As I said at the beginning, this is the last free public coronavirus webinar. And I will, though, be starting a new, all new, completely new. If you've been in my past ego workshops, this is different. And there is going to be one webinar on the 24th of May. Hey, Sandy. So sign up to join that if you haven't, egoworkshop.com, so that you'll get notified and at least have the opportunity to join. And I will be going live between now and then. So I hope to stir the room up. You guys can help me by commenting, liking, asking questions, getting active. If you get active, then Facebook will show you more of it. If you sit back and hide silent, Facebook won't show it to you. So Facebook is acting like the mind does. I've used this analogy before. When you engage in something in the mind goes, oh, this is important. They're interested in this. I'm going to give them lots of it. And you'll get more of what you engage with in the mind, whatever it is. And so you want to pay attention. You want to pay attention to what you're engaging with, because is it what you really want? It's not enough to say, I don't want that as a thought. Thoughts are very weak. And you're actually putting your attention on that, even by saying, I don't want that. And so that's telling the brain, oh, she wants more of that. You see why this doesn't work? You say, but I don't want it. Why does it keep coming? This is why, okay? you're giving it interest, attention, authority, everything. So you must turn away from mind. Turn away from that which you're not interested in. But on Facebook, I'd like you to turn toward our group. I'd like you to start commenting. I'm going to start today, and I'm going to, speaking of which, I should go live. Looks like I can't go live. Oh well, we're on private today. Okay. Anybody have a question, comment, want to come and engage? Because the other thing we've noticed in the community is everybody who has a breakthrough comes because of an interaction, a living dialogue where the story is spoken, because that's what you have, and then it's looked at together. This is what satsang means, to associate with truth. Because in our everyday life, we're not doing that, because we don't actually know the truth. We're associating with the movie, with the story, with separation, with division. And that's what everybody else is doing too. And so that's supported by the collective unconscious, we could say. And so really super important to take the opportunity. And this is the last public coronavirus webinar. I'm going to say it again, just to remind you. If you would like to come forward, if you've been forward before, don't worry. You're not taking anything from anybody else. You're actually helping them, the shy ones who don't feel good enough for whatever reason to ask their question. And don't forget that there's no such thing as a dumb question. None, ever, whatsoever. Sometimes it's the last little silly question that you need, boom, to have an insight. And so all questions are useful. All questions are important. You need to burn through them all, actually. You need to bring them all up. You need to look at them all. You need to get rid of them, because what's going to happen if you got to the bottom of your objections, the bottom of your reasons why you are not the self, or the reasons that you are the self, or the reasons that you're not the body, okay, or the reasons you are the body. What happened if you got to the bottom of this and there was no more doubt? You didn't have any more arguments against. If you come to this point and you have no more arguments against, then you must confirm the truth. And that will be your final insight. And so this is why your questions are most important. Burn through them. When I realized the gold that was there, the gold that was buried in every question and objection that I had, it was, there's not many non-dual teachers that I particularly like. There's a few, but there's not many. And there was one in particular that I was listening to. I just happened to be listening to this video, and I wasn't really enjoying it or getting anything out of it until he said one thing. Jeff Foster it was. He was sitting on a couch with somebody else, and they were pulling questions out of a jar, because sometimes there's no audience to give a question, so he pulls questions out of a jar. And question after question after question, he was just laughing giddily. And I didn't know what he was laughing at. And I thought it was rude. I thought these were valid questions. I would laugh at them myself now, in a way, but not in an insultive way. Whereas I was sort of taking offense. Why doesn't he answer the questions? Why is he always laughing? This is useless, is what was going on in my mind. It's what I was engaging with. And then he just stopped and he said, you know, there's no such thing as a real question. There's no such thing as a question. And I was like, what's he talking about? No such thing as a real question. And he said, every question is a statement, actually. It's a statement of what you already know or think you know. And I've come to know that what that is you authorizing something, you saying this is so. And it's the you saying this is so, which is the veil, which blinds you to the truth of everything. It's your own power of authority that's in the way. So he said, every question is not a question, it's a statement. And that was like, so, and I was full of questions at the time. So any question that was coming up, I looked at now differently. Instead of living it and wearing it and dreaming it and asserting it and going, yeah, well, but this is that and this, I'd say, but how come I can't move the other person's mouth and all this kind of thing, right? That makes them different from me. These were my kind of objections. And instead of wearing that unconsciously as if that were real and true, and it's true about me, I questioned the question. And this is what a true teacher does with you. They don't teach you things per se. If they do, you get it as mental knowledge and you go, oh yeah, it sounds good. I have it mentally. But you don't get it in your bones. You don't have the breakthrough that you want. But when you question, you see, it's not what you need to learn. It's what you need to unlearn. It's what you need to destroy that you're authorizing. And so when you question, that's what you do. You question your own questions, or you come to a teacher and you present your objection to them and they question your objection. So a real teacher doesn't teach things to know and give you knowledge and go there, you're complete, you can have your little certificate. They come and they utterly destroy everything you think you know. Even things you don't know, you know. You know being what you authorize. Things that you accept so fundamentally to be true and real that you don't even know you're asserting until you have this dialogue, and then it comes out. And I've seen that happen, and I get really excited when that happens, when someone comes forward with a dialogue with me where they go, well, what about this? And then I throw a question out, and then they're like, but then that, and then you see, so what happens is we have a belief, and we have a belief that supports that belief. And then we have a belief that supports that belief. Every belief is built on another belief, right? In a way, it's like an onion, I guess. And first we get rid of a top one, and then well, but you can't get rid of that one because of this one. This one is supporting that one. Oh, okay, let's take care of that one and get rid of that one. Until it's like a chair, a belief, a chair is a belief and it's got 4 legs. It's got like 4 beliefs holding it up, but you just knock out one of those and the thing crumbles. And so that's why your questions, your assertions are so important. And if you really get what I'm saying, you can start doing this on your own for yourself. You can have an objection come up, an objection against the separate world. It's harder by yourself because you don't see from the other side. But it's not impossible because you are the other side. Reality, you're never without reality. If you keep digging, you might accidentally trip over it. That's what happened with me in the woods. I'd already had a lot of teaching, but I was also already had a very solid sitting meditation practice, the type where you leave the mind alone, silent one. And that silence is what's necessary. And that silence comes by you doing it, sitting still, or it comes by a question which blows up the mind. Just, you can't even think anymore. And sometimes these questions just, and you see, I can't speak. Good. Okay. Why? What's happened here? And sometimes when I'm working with people, they'll say it's, well, I can't even speak with you or something. And this is just another movie. So this is just trash. What you can't do is speak the way you used to. Because the way you used to is all about separation. It's all about the false. And in order to see the truth, you have to stop speaking the false. And so at first, there's resistance when people come to this work. then you become uncoachable, unhelpable, unless you get over that. If you take up a position of any sort that you can't do this, I can't help you, that I'm stuck, any position in opposition, it's you and your authority, and you're not coachable anymore. There's a fine line. You have to walk this line between being coachable and being just mush, who will believe anything that anybody says without actually checking it. And I don't want either of these around me. It's absolutely pointless. There's a lot of people out there who will accept anything. And when they start to come out of that, sometimes they end up thinking there's conspiracies out there. They stop believing what the government says, or they start believing what somebody else says about the government. And it's just a different story. Instead of relying on the truth, on the reality, because they don't know what it is. Never been shown how to discern the difference. So don't know how to stand on your own 2 feet, truly, without standing on a movie of some sort, a dream without dreaming. I'm glad you're all here today, because there's more here than last time, and today's the last webinar. So if you just joined and you didn't know that, you probably want to watch the review. We're going to keep the replays up for a little while during the coronavirus, and I am going to go live, and I do have that other webinar on the 24th of May, which is a Sunday, 11 a.m. Hope you can join them. Maybe you'll have some questions that we can burn through. So anybody have any comments on what I'm saying? I'm talking kind of general, but not. Questions are your way home. They'll take you right to the edge. There's still one more step, but they'll take you right to the edge. Ellen, hello, you want to come in? Come on in. Now, everybody know that if you come in, this is being broadcast publicly, and you waive all rights to the video recordings, your likeness, your words, everything. Okay. Come on in. Let's see. Tammy had a comment here. I'm trying to get mentally healthy and wound up involved with all this spiritual belief stuff. I've never found reality yet. Yeah, well, whether you have spiritual belief stuff or you have non-spiritual belief stuff, you still have belief stuff. It's still a story in the mind. It's still a movie. You know, this hit me, man, everybody can teach you things, you know. I was in New York some years ago. I was in a cabbie, and the cabbie, for some reason, started talking about spirituality and God and whatnot. And he said, you know, the non-believers? And I was like, yeah, okay. He goes, they're the biggest believers? I was like, what? What's he talking about? And then, but he had a point. You know, you believe in God or you don't believe in God, you're still a believer. It's all belief. And so, but he was a believer. So he was pro-believer. He figured if you're going to be a believer, an atheist believer, you may as well be a God believer and stack the deck in your favor. But there is an alternative. You don't need to be a believer or a non-believer. You're either still believers. I say go for the reality, but I love what Tammy said. She said, I'm trying to get mentally healthy. That is the number one step. And actually the number one thing for both cases, whether mentally, emotionally healthy or spiritually grounded, the number one step is waking up. Because when we're not awake, when we're dreaming, we are mentally unhealthy. And so you can be a believer, yeah, and be mentally unhealthy, as we've seen. You could be a non-believer and be mentally unhealthy. And so waking up is like the ground baseline for everybody, staying out of the mind. Mental illness problems are intricately inseparable from dreaming right? Because when you wake up from dreaming, there is no mental blah, blah to blah, blah about. There's just life. There's just this breathing, seeing, touching, tasting, smelling, hearing, and there's no problem with that at all. And so leaving the mind behind is a great way to get mentally healthy. So, you could call that spiritual work. What I call spiritual is not belief or not belief. I call the inner work, working on yourself. So most people, I'd say you're a step ahead, Tammy, because most people aren't doing their own work on themselves. They're working on the world. I got to get the world in the right shape, and then I'll be happy. I'm going to fix my husband. I'm going to fix my girlfriend. I'm going to fix my daughter. I'm going to fix my bank account. I'm going to fix my career. And then I'm good, and then I'm happy. You will never be happy. It doesn't matter how well fixed your outside world is going to be. You will never be happy. Your unhappiness is not caused by them. It's caused by your inner world. And so if you've turned within, you're on what I'll call the spiritual path. If you've turned within, you're going in the right direction. Okay? And this can help you get mentally healthy more than the masses that are out there who are addicted. They're actually addicted to the mind. They don't know it. They think it's the outside, and they don't even know they're addicted to the outside, which is really the inside mind. Yeah, it's twisted, it's convoluted. So if you're here, congratulations, you're doing the work on yourself to discern the difference between the movie and the reality, to free yourself from all the pain and suffering. She said, yeah, I'm not sure if it's spiritual or not yet, but I'm no longer trying to fix anyone or anything but myself. Bravo. You're eons ahead of many others. So yeah, whatever you want to call that, you can call it spiritual, you could call it self-help. I guess the difference maybe between self-help and spiritual for me would be spiritual probably is used to talk about things in the afterlife. I'm just going to use that word. And I don't mean this to be a metaphysical way at all in that kind of spirituality. I mean, the big questions, right, of birth and death and what's going on here and what happens after death, which everybody has, spiritual or not, everybody's got this problem, this question. What happens to me when this body dies? And so self-help is really all about, functioning well within the world when you're alive. And spiritual is what's after life. But then there's New Age spiritual, which is all that woo-woo, crazy, story-making stuff. And so that's a different thing. So if we differentiate them, it's all good. I cross the bridge. I deal with the practical, mental, emotional, and also what happens after life, so-called life, so-called afterlife. And so someone said, I don't know who it was, it's like I bridge heaven and earth. And so we can work on the practical side, and it helps with the spiritual side if you're interested in identity, self, life, birth, and death. Okay, with that, Alain, do we have you? Hi.
Hi. Hello.
Thanks for joining. Hello.
Yes. Yes, I have a question.
Great.
There's much laughing when I hear the talk in my head, and I'm just laughing, and then I say, hi, you are here again, and then it stopped. It stopped.
What stopped?
What about I'm thinking about?
Okay.
And I recognize that is the ego mind.
Yes.
And then I must laugh. and then I go inwards. It's done. The conversation in my head is over.
Yes. Bravo. Bravo.
Yeah, and always so light.
Yes.
No problems.
Yes.
No problems.
No problems, eh?
No. It's wonderful.
It is wonderful.
Wonderful.
Thank you for sharing that. It's
Yes.
inspiring for others, because I've been saying it. I say it, when you wake up, there's no problems, but there's nothing like having that experience, right?
Yeah. It's so wonderful.
It's very good. Very good.
I was a very serious girl, but but now I'm laughing and I'm glad, and
Bravo. Good for you.
I see through the things. I think
Yes.
I recognize it.
Yes. That's the key.
Yes,
You got the key.
I'm happy. Yes.
Bravo. Excellent news.
Yes,
Thank you for sharing. Yes.
Yeah.
It is so
and
happy. It's very serious. Means to be very engaged in the mind, very thinking, very.
Yes.
It's very serious.
Yes, it's heavy.
Very heavy.
It makes life heavy,
Yes.
and now it's light. It's quite simple.
Yes. Beautiful.
Yeah. Yes, it's that's one I want to share with you.
Fabulous. Fabulous. Not a question
Yes.
there. I have just super good news. Super good
Thank
news.
you.
Thank you. Good work. Way to go.
Yes, I'm on the way.
That's right.
And I'm there and I stay there.
Yes.
It's so wonderful. And yes, that's it.
Such a relief.
Yeah.
Eh?
You say?
Such a relief.
Yes, life is simple, and
Yes.
I made it myself so easy, so difficult. You're thinking, and now I'm recognize it, and then I laugh. So that's yes, it's wonderful.
It's very, very
It's
good news. Yeah.
Thank you.
Oh, you're welcome. You remind me of myself back 10 years ago when I discovered that. I was walking on the street, and in one moment I was like muttering to myself, and my head was down. I was feeling really bad, and then all of a sudden it was like, oh, there's a whole world here, ding. And then I laughed.
Yes, I did laughing.
Yes, you laughed. Yes.
And the lightness in your body, not the difficult things anymore.
Yes.
That's so great.
So great. So great.
And it's so near. It's so near. It's so easy.
Yeah.
So easy.
So easy.
But yeah, you have to recognize it.
Recognize it. Yes.
And
now
that's happens.
Yes, it's happening for you now. Yes.
Yeah.
It's good.
It's
good.
Yeah.
Now that you've recognized it, now that you've seen it, you'll never not know this again. You might go into it again, but you'll wake up out of it again.
Yeah.
And then you're going to laugh again.
Yeah. So I said, I'm laughing so much these days.
So happy for you. Good
Wonderful.
Work.
Yes. Thank you.
So I went around like that for weeks laughing. I probably looked crazy. One minute I'm, next minute I'm, and I thought, yeah, I was crazy. I'm not so crazy anymore. I'm waking up from the insanity.
Oh, it's the situations you recognize, and then you think, yeah, I haven't words for it, but you recognize it, and then you laugh. And
yes.
And in the early days, I was mentally questioned it, and was difficult, and that is not
don't
anymore.
Need any of it. Yeah.
So yeah, it's wonderful.
It's wonderful. You learn you don't need to go into it and figure it out. You need to just step out of it. You need to wake up. You need to leave it alone.
Yeah. That's it. Yes.
Yeah, that you can. It's wonderful.
Yeah,
To
yeah,
realize that you can leave it alone is just wonderful. Eh?
yeah, yeah. It is, yeah,
Oh,
very
it's
nice,
relief,
very
it's
nice.
freedom, it's
Ooh. Yeah, yeah, yeah,
oh, well,
yeah.
there's great news
And
to have on the last webinar here.
yeah, I want to share this with you.
Oh, oh,
I have on the chat, have I nog wat said something, but this is the right thing I want to say to you.
perfect.
So
Did you say there was something else?
yes, I on upstairs. Oh, what I'm doing now. There is you can chat the chat, so you can ask questions to you or say something.
On the Q&A? Oh, on the chat.
Yeah,
Yes, yes, yes,
on the
yes.
chat, but there's not in this video.
Oh, yeah, there is. There's chat
Oh,
because I've got a few
okay.
people posting it here.
Now forget it.
Oh,
It
you
was,
posted one? Did I miss one?
yes, 2, 3.
Oh, I did. Okay, I see it now. Hang on.
Okay,
Hang on.
okay.
Okay. Ah, okay. She says, okay.
But
This
that is real. That is the real what I said. What I said then, I don't know. I don't know more. I don't know anymore. I think about questioning and when I question, it is if I know inside. There is no answer. I know inside. There is an spontaneous knowing.
Okay. Yeah.
And that's, you recognize that?
Yeah, I'm going to go back. Yeah, I'm going to go back because I see I missed quite a number from you and I missed some from some other people too. So I'm going to go right back. One of the first things you said was there is much laughing when recognizing the ego mind. And when there is a question, I go inwards and there is no effort.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Inwards. Be careful what she means by inwards here. So when you go in mind, there's effort.
Not in the mind. Not in the mind.
When you go in the mind, there's effort.
Yeah.
But when you said, when I go inward, it really means you are, it is in a way, it feels more inward. You're leaving the mind, which is a little outward. You have to go outward a bit to get the mind, not too far. It's right around here, you know, but then you go inward, you reverse. So instead of going out and taking the effort to get involved with the mind and the thinking, you go in and it just stops. It's like, and there's no effort, right? It goes away.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes.
You're stepping out of the movie.
Yes. You're stepping out of the movie.
Out of the movie.
You were never in the movie, but yeah, it's your power of attention and your interest and your authority. All of these three, your power of attention is contracted, it's holding, you're thinking, you're driving the mind, you're trying to figure it out. It takes a lot of effort.
Yeah.
And then you think the answer's in there. So you think you got to think some more. And you get, well, if I don't go there, I'm never going to find it. I'm never going to, no. You think
no. I have much more energy these days.
Oh, yes, good.
I'm gardening and I'm happy.
Good for you.
Yeah.
That's exactly it. All that energy that we used to take fighting is freed up.
Yes, it's freedom, eh?
Yeah.
It's freedom.
It's freedom.
Yeah.
So I'm going to read the next comments you've got here. You said the question is solved and there is knowing. I like that. Knowing is direct. Question is indirect. Mm.
It is not a question with the head in the head. It's knowing. It's knowing. Yeah, and that is no effort.
No effort.
No effort.
No. You already know. You don't have to think. You don't have to question to answer. You already know.
Yes, I'm getting feel more and more that life supports you so much. Life is life. Life gives you all.
Yes.
Life gives you all.
Yes. Yes. You don't need to work for life.
No. And yes, that is light inside.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Let's see what else you said here. I think there was another one. Nope, that was it. So, but you said something earlier. Did you have a leftover remnant question? You said, is it like that? Have I had that experience? Yeah. Yes. Yes. So it's the same thing. There are no questions, really.
No. No. That I mean, there's no efforts. Yes, I don't know. I have no words for it, but
no, because it's not about efforting words that effort. The effort is in the words. The effort is in the mind. The effort is.
Yeah.
Yes.
Tired.
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 You completely don't need it. Yeah. There's some people when they quit doing this, they don't need to sleep as much.
Yeah. And finally it's happened, and I thought it was great with bells and rings, but it is so normal. So yeah, how do I say how? It's so
normal.
Yeah, normal. I have no words for it, but
yes,
it's
well,
wonderful.
Interesting. You say finally it's happened, though. I would ask, what has happened?
I think what I was seeking all my life, and that seeking is falling away.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
And there is a quiet, there is trust, there is happiness, there is.
Was this what you were seeking?
Love for life. Love. Yes.
What kind of life?
There is life. There's only life.
Yes.
And not life in the shopping and doing, and no inner life.
Yes. The life that already is. Yes.
Yeah.
So you were seeking the peace, the freedom, the happiness, the spaciousness. Maybe is that it?
Yes, and I thought there must great things happening with you, and
on the outside.
No.
Great things happening. How?
It is so. Yes, there is great things happening. But it is so. It is not. It came. It was there.
It was there. You just needed to see.
No efforts.
Yes.
And yes, you know what I mean, I think.
I know what you mean. But it took effort to realize there's no effort.
Yeah. To find there is no effort. Wonderful.
Your internet is a little bit slow. You froze in a very funny position. It was good. Big laughter. Yeah, there's Tammy says, I have no idea what y'all are talking about. Yeah, well, you know what laughter is like. You do know what peace is like. You do know what happiness is like. But you're not, you didn't experience, you haven't seen yet what Elena's seen, and that's why you don't understand it. Don't take that to mean that there's anything wrong with you. It just means you haven't seen it yet. That's all. And it's okay that you don't know. I hope that you take this story as inspiring, that it's possible for you, for everyone here also, it's possible to put the effort in to find out there's no effort needed for happiness, for life, for this moment, for peace.
Yeah.
And so we'll talk more about what it takes to get to this place, the non-effort it takes to get, the effort it takes to get to the non-effort place. Until you're there, you need to effort. You do. what Ellen's talking about is just the point of waking up out of dreaming. She still has a mind, can still speak, will still have pictures and images and can recall them, still knows the past, knows her name and all this kind of stuff. But she's not dreaming, not now anyway. It's possible she could dream again for a while, but she'll wake up again a lot quicker. She'll recognize when it starts to feel bad. And you can notice quicker and quicker and quicker, more and more subtleties when this starts to happen and not even go there. And so that you stay open and present.
Yeah.
Okay, so this waking up, once you've seen the difference, people who will listen to this and read this and follow many teachers and still not know after years what waking up is, what it actually is. When I say don't know what it is, it means you don't know for yourself. You haven't seen it. And all it takes is an instant to see it, but it may have taken you 2 years of giving yourself the opportunity of trying to understand what to do and what not to do so that you have the opportunity to see it. And once you see it and you start laughing a bit like a mad lady, and you prefer this, you've realized you prefer this to that, it's a turning point. And you won't go back. Basically, what's happened is before we were valuing mind and we were all involved with mind, and mind's the most important thing, and we got to figure this out, and we got to work this out with and as the mind, as the thinking process. And then you realize, oh, there's a whole other world that is not that. It doesn't need that. I don't need that. That is where all the stress is. I prefer it here. And so you don't engage the mind. Or if you do, you wake up in a hurry because it feels bad. Because now you know. Now you know the difference. Before, when you didn't know the difference, you can't blame yourself. You just didn't know the difference. Right? It's like someone, when you were a child, someone tells you about honey and they tried to describe honey to you. And you're like, okay, sounds good. but you don't know what honey tastes like till you taste honey. And then you're like, oh, I know honey now. Right? You will never be able to speak honey to somebody else. You'll try like they did for you. But you're just at some point going to have to trust and taste to find out. So this is not something you can think about. This is something you directly know and taste and discover. And so keep at it. Keep putting yourself out there. Don't give up. Number one thing, don't take no for an answer from your mind. Okay? Because your mind will give you all kinds of, but then that means that's more mind and you're engaging it. So do not take no for an answer. If you don't take no for an answer, number one, you're guaranteed success. Number two, it'll be a lot quicker. The problem is we keep accepting another answer from the mind. Well, I'm not her. I didn't have her experience. We're not you. I didn't do this. I didn't do that. This happened to me. No, this is another mind answer. Zero tolerance for mind. If you get that, you're far closer, quicker than anything you could possibly think is of value in the mind. Whatever it is, it isn't. It is not of value. All right.
Shall I make place for another video?
I don't see a hand up yet. We could stay and continue discussing if you like. If someone else has a hand up, we can switch. But let's see. There's some more comments here. Let's see. Mariam said, thank you so much for these sessions and your support during these difficult times. You made a huge difference. That's great. Good to know, Mariam. I'm not done yet. Follow me. We got a little bit more to do here yet. I want to give you as much as I can so that you can, get through these new days that we have together and apart. Okay, that's it, except for one other question. Jerry said, can you give us an example of questioning the question? Okay, I could probably do that okay on my own. And then did you question the question? Or did you question, okay, here's two ways to question the question. You can question the question in the content, or you can question, is it mind? Okay, if you question the question in the content, you're still in the mind. And then there's something you can do there. But if you question the question, its existence, is it mind? Then you see, oh, that's mind. When you see that's mind, that's when you can drop it. That's when it's effortless. Right, Ellen? Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. And so you step completely out of mind. You don't engage the mind anymore. You don't think, what do you have left? Well, you're seeing, hearing, touching, tasting. You've got whole of life left. Everything, there's so much more that is not a thought than what is a thought. Right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yeah.
And we're not paying attention to it.
Right.
Why? Because we're all involved with thought. But life itself is actually pleasant.
Yeah.
Pleasurable, pleasant, free.
Life
Like
brings you all, I think.
Life brings you all. Yeah. The next step for you, Ellen, is going to go from looking at the difference between what is life and what is me. That's the next step.
Yeah, I am not my body. Mm-hmm. That's what I know. I'm not. There's much more. I'm not my body. I'm not Hélène.
Yes.
I feel like a bird on the clouds, like a bird on the clouds. It's no more heavy in my life, and I know I'm not this body. I know, and yeah, with that more, I connect, and that's so light. I don't know if I say the right words.
No, you're expressing your experience, which is wonderful. How light everything is. There's still separation for you, even though you realize, I know I'm not this body.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, so what we first need to do, this is where we're talking the spiritual side. Up until now, it's been the mental, emotional, side. A long time ago, you probably tried to change the world to make it be good for you. And then you went in and you realized, oh, what I thought was the world, that was my problem, was really my mind that was the problem. And in the seeing of this problem, it's over.
Yeah.
And so we're done with the mental, emotional dreaming and efforting and suffering. And now we need to go to identity. What am I? And make this discovery. And first you start with what I am not. I'm not the body. And then what am I, and what is the world, and what is everything else? And that's the next step.
Yeah, what I do is every night when I'm going to sleep, I let's say meditate, and I ask myself, who am I, and go inwards, but yeah, that's difficult to. I have no answer for that. Yes, I think it's more the God consciousness, that you are one, no separate no separates, only God and yeah, I'm God's. I am nee. It is not good. No separate feeling.
Yes.
Everything is God's.
Yes. What is everything? Is there everything?
Yeah, that's a question. Is there everything?
Mm-hmm.
Mm. No, there only is. There is. Everything are things.
Yes.
And
And
when
those
I
would be
say
separate.
things,
Those
then
would be
yes, then I'm
separate.
separate, yes.
Yes.
So yeah, I feel what you mean.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Keep looking at this point.
Yes, I have no answer for it right
It's okay.
now.
Yes.
But
So-
I feel this the separate, the oneness. That's an issue to work on, I think.
So you know the difference now between a thought answer and
Yeah.
knowing.
Yeah.
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 And so
yeah.
when I ask you this question, you say, I have no answer. You have no thought answer. That's good. You don't
Okay.
want a thought answer. You want the knowing.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
This question points your attention to have the knowing. The thought
Mhm.
answer, once you have the knowing, the thought answer will come.
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
shouldn't come before. Otherwise, it's made up.
Yeah.
Made up of mind. It's not real, right? You don't
Yeah.
say, oh, the stove is hot if you don't know the stove is hot.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
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 You know first the stove is hot. Then you
Yeah.
can say the stove is hot.
Yes.
So
I
we
know
don't
what
make it
you-
up. We don't make it up. We don't make a story up.
No.
You must resist from doing that. But yet you have to go find out the truth, find out the answer.
Yeah.
Okay?
And then I can spontaneous.
You will say. You
tell
will say.
you, eh?
You will
Don't-
say what. Yes. Yes.
Yes.
You will say what you will
But,
say. Mm-hmm. But so keep looking, keep coming back to this. Yeah? Is there
Yeah.
everything? And your eyes light up when we talk about this. This is good. It's a good sign. There's an energy.
It's my life. This is
Very
only
good.
I live here for.
This is
here
it.
for. Yeah. Yeah.
Wow. Yeah.
I think I never know why I am here on this earth. But now I know I must find of this is the recognizing of all. That is my purpose here on earth.
Good. Very good. Until you see it. Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Perfect.
Sorry.
Perfect. Very excited
Okay,
for you.
Okay.
Very excited for
Thank you, Sandy.
Oh,
Thank
you're
you.
welcome.
Thank you.
You're very welcome. Thank you
It was
for
a
being here.
nice last webinar.
Couldn't have had a better one. It's wonderful. Thank you very
Yes.
much. We'll see you again.
Thank you. Okay.
Absolutely.
Can I put out now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll send you back. I think I can do that. Yeah. Thank
Stop
you so
video.
much.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay.
Whew. Okay. All right. So any other questions, comments on any of that? She called it the ego mind. It's okay to call it that, but let's be careful, because if you have some ideas of what ego is, it's going to get complicated and you're going to be thinking. Okay. So recognizing the thinking mind, recognizing unconsciousness, recognizing thinking itself, and not thinking is waking up from the movie. And so I urge everybody here to make this the most important thing. Yes, Sandy, I did say couldn't have had a better one. It's so true, no matter what it is. Okay, I have a comment here from Anne said, I go to bed too late and don't seem to have authority over myself, no discipline. When I'm in a non-effort place and then flow into doing what needs to be done, though it can take a long time to get to that place for that particular job. I can't seem to make myself do anything. It has to be inner directed, like an inner prompting. Dust today, or okay, wash dishes now. Another question. I know I'm not the body and I am isness, but feel contractions in my body, mind, emotions. I recognize those as contractions, but know there is still the isness, but the contractions draw me to focus more. No, you are contracting. The contractions aren't drawing you. That's not what you are. You're not at the whim of some contractions. It's your authority. It's your interest. And you don't have to do that. And this is what you need to learn. That you're not a mere flimsy story of somebody who is at the whim of the body mind. You're not. So you need to have these experiences where it goes against that. And that's really when you know it in your bones. You don't just have it as thought knowledge, but you have an experience that goes against what you used to believe. And then it dawns on you and you go, oh my God, this is really true. Now you authorize that this is really true, which, really anchors it in. And so we need to have sometimes little experiences and we anchor those in until we have a big one. Or sometimes we have a bigger one and we anchor that one in and there's no turning back. So, so there's a lot of story here. There's a lot of thinking here. You might notice this. And all of this there's heavy thinking here. You need to learn to discover. You need to have the experience of what thinking is, of what unconscious dreaming is. Okay. When you think about me and what I do and what I don't have to do, and now here's another story. Sometimes the pull is so strong I get overshadowed. No, this is not what's going on. You're creating a strong pull, but you don't know it. Okay. You're not paying attention because you're dreaming instead. And that's the catch-22 you need to pull yourself out of. You're not paying attention enough to know that you're the one creating this pull. There's not a pull over you. You are the pull. So sometimes the pull is so strong I get overshadowed. Not true. Question that in the moment and then recognize there's a resistance and I pray to surrender, which is wonderful. This is a way out. Eventually the heaviness and contraction start lifting. Yes. So you are contracting. You are creating this pull. And when you realize that there's a pull that you don't like, you do something different. And that changes it. And so you see, this was you beginning, during, and after. She says, I know that it's an unconsciousness in myself. No, like I'm a victim of unconsciousness. No, we create unconsciousness with your powers of attention, interest, and authority. Okay. So again, you're not the victim. Here you are saying, in effect, I am the victim, but it's your authority. It's by your authority that you say, I'm the victim. When you recognize your authority, you can wake up out of the dream. You don't have to authorize that. So you would highly benefit from coming in and working live with me because we could have a conversation where you could have an experience of these. And that will make you change your authority, what you authorize. You will withdraw your authority. You will go, oh, that's not true. I see that now. That never was true. And so I don't seem to have authority over myself. This is a lie. Authority is yourself. Even now you say, I don't have authority over myself. You're saying so. You're the authority that says so. This is the house of mirrors of the mind. This is why you need to leave the mind alone. You go to the mind to see if you should do something or not. You don't need the mind. If you walk by the garbage and it's overflowing, you know the garbage needs to be taken out. You don't need to wait on the mind to tell you. You know. But that doesn't mean you're going to take it out now. There may be something else that is more urgent in the moment. And so life moves you and it's effortless. This is what Hélène was saying. There doesn't need to be a debate in the mind about me and should I or shouldn't I do it, and I've never done it, and I have no discipline over myself. This is all story. This is all unconsciousness. None of it is real. And I can't make myself do anything. So Anne, come to your senses, feel your feet, top of your head, take in your peripheral vision. And by doing so, you drop all this thinking. You just drop into silence. Take your action from silence. Then it comes from knowing, not thinking. And you just find yourself doing something. You don't need this dialogue. You don't need this self, beating up either. Never done anybody any good. It's demotivating. You have a bad thought. You feel bad. You don't want to do anything. It gets worse. You got to wake up out of the unconsciousness. If you're going to go to bed late, go to bed late. Don't beat yourself up over it. This is taking responsibility for it. Saying that I have a problem and I have no discipline and I have to this. This is not taking responsibility. It sounds like it. I know, but it's not. It's blaming something else. I don't know what's wrong with me. You're doing it in the mind. So all of this is mind. Come to your senses. Wake up. Be still. Be silent. And then see what happens. Okay, I hope that helps. Once you recognize what dreaming is, and it is a thing that is happening now when it happens. And so in the moment that it happens and you notice it, you wake up out of it and then you're no longer doing it. This is freedom. This is peace. She says, yes. Awesome. Thank you for sharing that. All right, then. No more hands up, nothing more seen or heard. I truly appreciate you joining us today. Everybody, you're welcome. Thank you. Keep doing the work. Join me the 24th, okay? May 24th. You're welcome, Tammy. May 24th. Join me, and it also won't be the last one. If you join me in carrying on with this work, in doing this work, then there will be ways to continue on. But as far as the free public coronavirus crisis one, we're wrapping it up for now. Thanks, Daniela. I'll see you in the membership. Ellen, thank you, and good night. Thank you for coming forward and sharing, staying up tonight for us. All right, everybody, you know what to do. Until we meet again, enjoy yourself just because you can, and keep it real.